81% of you found that smartphones/technology have caused issues in your marriage. And that was about 8,000 people voting. So a pretty good majority of you out there found that.
Hi there, you're listening to the Kingdom Sexuality podcast. We're Alana, Kyle, and Tira, friends who have a heart for intimacy and long to uncover God's truth and design for sexual freedom within marriage. If you enjoy listening to our episodes or like our content over on Instagram, would you consider leaving a review or subscribing? It really helps. Welcome here.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Kingdom Sexuality podcast. My name is Kyle, and I am joined by my amazing co-hosts, Alana and Tira. A special welcome to all of our patrons who are listening. Thank you guys so much for your support. If you would like to become a patron and join the show and also support us, you can do so at patreon.com/Kingdom Sexuality. Over there, you guys get to vote on what episodes we record, free perks, discount codes, all sorts of fun stuff. Today's verse is Proverbs 4, verse 23. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Very applicable to today's topic. But before we dive into the topic, here is a quick word from our sponsors who help make this show possible. All right. So as you can see, because you clicked on this episode, we're talking about phones and technology in marriages, and specifically how they do, I don't want to say damage, but they cause issues in marriages. And so we asked exactly that on Instagram and put out a question box that said, have phones or technology caused issues in your marriage? And I'm just pulling up the stats here quickly because the response was... Dun, 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 dun. Where is it?
There's another giant spider in my room, and it's in the ceiling light, and it just keeps walking around.
Oh, it's just taunting you. Okay, so we put out a question box on Instagram, and we did a true or false. So true or false, smartphones/technology have caused issues in your marriage. You guys want to take a guess at what the split was?
Ooh.
Like 80% yes.
Yeah, I'd probably say 72.
So 81% true, 19% false. So 81% of you found that smartphones/technology have caused issues in your marriage. And that was about 8,000 people voting. So a pretty good majority of you out there found that. And then we did one other question box or poll, and we asked who spends more non-productive time on their phone, and then the options were he does or she does, so husband or wife. You guys want to guess the split here?
I'm gonna guess it's pretty even. Let's say like 60% wife, 40% husband.
See, and I was going to say the opposite.
So if you're on Instagram and you saw this, you would have seen 50-50 because it was split by 8 votes with 7,998 votes.
No way.
And it was split by 8 votes in favor of he does.
Okay.
So a very, very, very tiny margin of victory. Not that it's a victory in this question, but more husbands being either called out by their wives or self-proclaiming themselves as the one who spends more non-productive time on their phones.
See, but I wonder, because majority of our followers are women, if they're just saying they're husbands or if they're able to call themselves out and say, no, it's me.
Well, I think because we have majority female followers and it was still 50% she does, I think a good amount of people were still able to call themselves out.
That's true.
What would it be in your guys' marriages?
Oh, me. Yeah.
It's hard because I feel like, so if Jeff's working in his day, I don't know, like I don't see that, but also he's on his phone less because he's working. But then when we are home and together, that's when he would be on his phone. And so like cumulatively,
right, but that's why the question was worded non-productive time. So like work would be productive time, all those, right? So who's like doom scrolling or just, time killing more on their phone?
Probably Jeff.
Kira, you said it was you?
I think so, yeah. I mean, there's so much. And it's funny because I'm not necessarily even on social media, but I love reading the news. So I'm like, well, it doesn't count. It's not social media. I'm just scrolling the news.
What about you, Kyle?
Yeah. But I don't think news would be non-productive time.
Yeah, so I could argue that a lot of it is productive time because like I put my to-do lists on there. I have my groceries. I have my menu plan. So like, I feel like so much of my time is actually spent doing productive things, but I feel like Ken isn't usually on his phone. Rarely.
Right.
It's more TV if he's going to be distracted by something. It's not.
Yeah.
Phone.
Yeah. For us, I would say it was Sam, but only because like running this ministry involves being on my phone a lot. So it is productive time. But I would say I spend more time on social media because of this job.
Yeah.
Yes. I would 100% agree.
I mean, I think it's fair to call it productive time because I'm usually not just like watching reels or something. We're doing,
purposely looking for trending stuff and all of
that.
It's
scrolling with a purpose.
Yeah. Or it's responding to DMs or making posts or whatever, all the other stuff we have to do behind the scenes on social media. So there's always lots to do. All right. So we did put a question box out, and the question box was basically we asked you guys that question and asked for your responses. So what issues have smartphones / technology caused in your marriage? And the number of responses is incredible. Probably the most responded question box we've ever had. I have to scroll so long to hit the bottom. Every time I scroll, the little thingy on the side that shows how far down you are, like resets and it goes up. And so we must have gotten hundreds of responses. So I'm going to read. I maybe have, I don't know, probably a few dozen here. So I'm just going to read some of the responses that we have, and then we can kind of cherry pick some to hone in on here. Okay. So I'm just going to go through them and blitz them. Disconnection, porn, no quality time, affair, separation. We move to our phones before each other in downtime. Spouse is always on it. Too much time spent on them. My spouse gives more attention to their phone than me. My spouse doesn't realize how much time they spend on their phone. Distance, lack of connection, no desire for intimacy. We'd have sex more, but he gets on his phone versus connecting with me, and that turns me off. His phone can be a more faithful companion due to more immediate access to pleasure. My husband wants to watch YouTube all the time, but doesn't want our son to have screen time. More interested in what's going on in the world than what's going on with their spouse. Lack of attention on me and the kids. More time on the phone and less time helping around the house. Escaping problems, numbing out. Controls our attention and is hard to leave them alone. Interrupts conversation. Targeted reels. We will talk about our spicy time when we get those reels. Comparison. This is the new TV and bedroom issue. Makes me too accessible to everyone who doesn't need me to be. Ignored. I'm too tired from my wife, but then she's on her phone for an hour before bed. Created problems that don't exist. See IG Reels about an unrealistic problem. Get bothered when my husband has inappropriate jokes, memes, etc. Why is he targeted for those? Mobile game chats led to an affair. His mom texts him good night every night. He's too accessible. Physically, but not mentally present. I don't get eye contact anymore. And then there was one funny one, and it says, his dumps take much longer now.
That's amazing.
And then there was one positive one that I found, and it says, has allowed us to stay connected while traveling for work. So, I mean, I'll let you guys start here, but did any of these stand out? Any that you want to focus in on a little bit?
I mean, I feel like the saddest one was, I'm too tired from my wife, but then she's on her phone for an hour.
That's the one I was going to focus on
like
too.
that one is like, oh man,
Like
that's
called out.
really hard. Yeah.
One that I think I can relate to the most is, and to a variation, like created problems that don't exist. I see IG Reels about an unrealistic problem. It's more so you see like the unrealistic couple, right? Like you see these like, I don't know, dream couples in these different scenarios. And it makes me like, oh, like, why don't I have that? Or, you know, different things where you want something, but this thing doesn't actually exist. It's just like curated content to make you want to watch more, but it makes you discontent with where you're at.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. There was one here.
I also really like this is the new TV in the bedroom issue.
Yeah, for sure.
Because so many people will easily say, well, go, yeah, never will have a TV in my bedroom or whatever it is. But then, and like totally, this is me. I don't have a TV in my bedroom. I have my phone in my bedroom.
We'll get there, Alana.
Thanks. Great. Looking forward to it.
Physically, but not mentally present. That one I felt called out by. I'm the worst for that. Like if Sam and I are having, so she spends more non-productive time on her phone. I'm more distracted by my phone when we're together. So if we're together and you know just hanging out in the evening on the couch, I'm the one who, you know, I'll have my phone to the side, but I'll see it light up and I'll go to it and I'll look, oh, what was that? And then I'll be so distracted by that, and it could even be mid-conversation, and Sam's just like looking at me, giving me the stink eye, like, what are you doing? And then, it's like, what am I doing? Like, there's nothing more important right now that could be on this phone than just sitting and being present with my wife. Like, that is much more important right now. And if it is an emergency on my phone, they'll call or something. I'll know. So, that one got me good.
I was like, we still have a home phone. And so I'm like,
holy 1992 called.
Yeah,
Jeez.
It's great because whenever we have to sign up for something, you have to give your phone number. We just give our home number. So we never get spam calls on our cells. And if anybody needs to get a hold of me, and I know I don't have my phone with me, I'm like, well, they can phone the home phone and I'll hear it. So,
do you have like a rotary phone like on the wall?
No.
Yeah.
Cordless. Come
on. So cute.
Oh, man. I was interested too how, I mean, I guess I'm not surprised, but how many affair comments there were of, you know, so especially the one that mobile game chat led to an affair. I mean, that's one thing I haven't gotten in is I haven't done like the games on the phone of like the Clash of Clans or whatever the million variations of that game are. And those are the ones that I'm always surprised how many people log dozens of hours a week on games like that.
Candy Crush. I had a Candy Crush era where I used to play
a Candy Crush era. That's fine. But it's like
that was fine.
That was fine.
It's not fine. But I mean the type of game, like that Clash of Clans type of game is insane how many hours people are logging on that. It's always blows me away when I see the stats.
But it's interesting. So I'm reading a book called Stolen Focus, and I'm not finished it. I'm just listening to it. I'm partway through, but it's been really interesting and just relating to phones and how our ability to focus has just changed drastically. And we think we have this ability to multitask. You know, we can talk with our spouse and have our phone nearby and it can be pinging or whatever. And maybe this is just useless information, but like the term multitask wasn't even created until there was a computer that had two processors that could do two things at one time.
Oh, interesting.
Humans aren't, and then they took it on as humans, like, oh yeah, multitasking. No, you cannot. You physically cannot. Your brain shuts off the one thing and focuses on one thing at a time. So it's pinging back and forth when you're like, yeah, I can be on my phone. I can listen to music. I can look at reels while I'm taking a dump, where it's like, no, that's why our brain is so scattered and why so many people are like, I just can't pay attention to one thing. I have ADD. And it's like gone to be a global issue where no one can focus on anything is because our brain is trying to attend to so many things at one time and we cannot physically do it. It's been a really interesting book.
Yeah. If you're watching on YouTube right now, you're like, Kyle, you're on your phone right now. Yes, I am. I'm looking up a quote. There was a podcast I was listening to, and they were talking about the difference between two R words. I'm trying to find them now. Relief and restoration. So I sent you guys this clip. It was been like a month ago, but the female host on the show says, it's like we're either finding refuge in God's kingdom or the kingdom of this world / darkness. But a lot of times we think there's a third option. You know, oh, I'm just going to scroll on my phone for a little bit, or I'm just going to watch the show to unwind, or I'm feeling anxious, I'm just going to talk. Anyways. But there's really only you're seeking and finding refuge in the love of God and his kingdom or the kingdom of darkness. So everything you do, so the scrolling the phone was what caught my attention there. We all have had that moment where it's like, oh, I just need to unwind. I'm just going to scroll for a little bit. Mm-hmm. That's giving you relief, but it's not restoring anything, right? It's giving you this temporary, momentary moment of relief where you feel a little bit better, but it's not actually restoring anything. You're not getting any positive benefit out of it long term. Mm-hmm. So that moment was one that really stood out to me and has made me reframe kind of everything that I'm doing. Am I doing this because I want relief right now? Or is it actually like restoring my soul?
Mm. Yeah. Right. Like that doom scrolling isn't self-care.
No, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. I do find it helpful a little bit to have like having dwell or something on the phone, because there are moments where in my day where I feel like, oh yeah, I'd rather just scroll. And then I still have Dwell's notification from that morning of my like reading plan. I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't done that yet. I'm like, yeah.
What's Dwell, Tira?
Oh yeah. Dwell is an audio Bible app that reads to you scripture in a whole bunch of different translations and background music. And then they have a whole bunch of reading plans and stuff like that. And so what I'll do sometimes then is think like, okay, yeah, I have my Dwell. And so I'll click on it and actually put my phone down so that I have to listen to it and not actually read my phone or have it on, because it's obviously reading to me. And so, yeah, I think it's helpful to have some of those kind of apps on your phone, especially if you give them the notification permission, so that it's still there on your phone, so that when you go and look at your phone to see what messages are there, you still have that like, hey, you haven't checked in yet. So just one little blip of good. But it still takes a lot of self-control, right? Because it's like, well, I don't really want to listen to that right now. I just want like 10 seconds. It's never just 10 seconds, but it's a real tug of war for sure for your attention. Yeah. I think also I was going to say too, another thing that I find hard to ignore sometimes is my watch. And I feel like people don't talk about smartwatches very much. Like, do you guys have smartwatches?
I don't.
I really want one. Like I love Whoop. You guys know what Whoop is?
No. Nope, but it sounds funny hearing you say that.
So Whoop is like Whoop is a bracelet, and so it does all like the kind of health monitoring stuff on an app. So they send you the bracelet for free, but then you got to pay for the app. And I really want one because I love like tracking health data and stuff like that. I'm a bit of a nerd like that, but I can't wear it for work. So I would really only be wearing it like in the evenings and on the weekends. So there's no point. Then what's I can't wear anything on my wrist when I work. Right.
So I have one, and it's easier to have the phone away from me. And I think, oh yeah, I don't have my phone, but man, every time it vibrates on my wrist, it's like, oh yeah. Oh,
yeah, that's so true.
Something's there. And especially, like I notice it, especially if I'm talking to somebody, or vice versa. I'm talking, if my watch vibrates and I physically have to go, no brain, you don't need to look at that. You don't need to look at that. Like, well, it's just a glance. No, you don't need to look at it. Because if you're talking to somebody and they have that go on, that's the most annoying thing. Yeah. Because you're like, why aren't you paying attention to me? Like, no, you don't need to glance at your watch to see who just messaged you and interrupted us. Like,
yeah,
it's
during church, I feel like seeing people like checking their watches as they're getting notifications. You're like, oh man.
Yeah. So I almost feel like that even makes it worse, because it reminds you again to look at your phone.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. The most annoying thing about the watches is, so like I said, I don't have one, but when I phone someone who I know has one and they don't pick up, it drives me insane. Like, okay, that's fine. Your phone's not there. Your phone's on silent. 90% of us keep our phones on silent all the time. I know right now your wrist is vibrating. I know you're getting my phone call. I know you can answer that. Why are you not answering? That drives me mental. My wife
She's
is laughing right
pooping.
beside me because she knows I'm talking about her.
Just means she's on the toilet. That's what it means.
Yeah.
You can answer your phone on the toilet, especially if it's your husband. That's okay. No problem.
But you won't pop a pimple.
That friggin' thing. No, that's not okay. And too many of you are doing that. You need to stop it.
If you want to find out, like, listen to us talk about the pimple popping situation, tune into Is This Normal Part 2, where we explain that in more depth.
I feel like we get into it more in episode 1, though.
That's true.
Yeah, remember? And then
and then episode 2, we share the results. Yeah. All right. So I think it's fair to say that overall, more of us are addicted to our phones than probably will admit it.
Totally.
Yeah.
We are always on them. We don't even realize it. Like Tira said, the watches, that was a good thing. I hadn't even written anything about the watches, but so much of our time in the day is spent scrolling, swiping, tapping, whatever. And the big summary for me in reading all those responses from you, the listener, was that 2 things are happening. 1, we're disconnected with our spouse, and 2, we're distracted. Yep. And yeah, like the one person said, we're physically present, but we're mentally and emotionally checked out, right? We're scrolling. The worst is like on date night. When I'm out with my wife and I see couples just sitting there, both of them on their phones, it makes me mad, because that's one time when I'm pretty good. Like if I'm out with someone, doesn't really matter who it is. If we're out doing something together, I'm pretty good about like putting it away, flipping it upside down so there's minimal distractions. Yeah. I think we've also seen it, like there was a comment in the beginning there about it replaces intimacy, or it's a turnoff, right? Because you're not getting any attention, you're not getting any connection, you're not getting anything out of it that would make me say, yes, I want to go be intimate with you. And then like Alana said, I think comparison is another thing that really comes up, is this idea of either unrealistic expectations, or why don't I have that, or why is my wife not like that, or why does my husband not do that? And it creates this tension, I guess, between spouses. And I would say it definitely has gotten in the middle of a lot of marriages and kind of driven this wedge between the spouses. And it breeds this dissatisfaction and this
it's like greed.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's a good word for it.
You're striving to like then think of, oh yeah, how can we become that couple? And
or like coveting. Or like desiring something that's not yours.
Yeah. I think a few more things that we've seen is like the secrets, right? It's so easy these days to hide stuff on your phone. Some people are really good at it, which is sad, and some people are really bad at it. But I think you've got so many apps out there now that are, fake apps to hide stuff, or secret messaging apps, or all sorts of things. And I think this is where if you and your spouse don't have full access, if you and your spouse don't have full access to each other's devices, that is a conversation you guys need to have immediately. You should have all the passwords, all the passcodes, everything. There should be nothing of your spouse's that you're not able to access.
Yeah.
Just not because you going and having that conversation says, I don't trust you. But I think if we look at it from the other side of you, it's, I have nothing to hide.
Yeah.
And then lastly, I mean, I don't know exactly what the percentage is off the top of my head, but so much of pornography is viewed on mobile devices. Yeah. Whether it's actual pornography going to a website, or it's a certain hashtag on Instagram, or a certain Facebook page, or a Reddit subreddit, whatever it is. All that kind of lustful and pornographic content is majority watched on mobile devices these days.
Yeah. Yeah. So much easier to hide it.
Oh, totally. Totally. And you've got, private browsing where nothing's going to be tracked and there's no history. Incognito. History, yep. Exactly. Yeah. All right. So let's talk about some practical ways that we can overcome this or take back control of our time and our attention and our spouse's attention in marriages. So let's kind of come up with a little bit of a plan here and setting some boundaries and good habits that you, the listener, can start practicing right away. So the first thing, like we talked about, Alana, is establish phone-free zones. So the common one I would say is the bedroom, right? Go to bed, you sit there and you scroll phones, reels, whatever it is. So if you can have a no phones in bed rule or a no devices in the bedroom rule, I think that is great. I'm a huge advocate of this. If you've listened to the podcast before, you know that this is something I am super passionate about. We made this change in our marriage very early on. I want to say like year 1 or year 2. And it was a difference maker right away. There's more time for connection, more time for intimacy. And it's just, there's nothing more irritating than seeing your spouse just scrolling, especially in bed, like especially for us, because in bed is such an intimate time to just connect and talk. And we do like the classic pillow talk. Like that is where we do most of our best conversation. Mm-hmm. So knowing that, and then if I see my spouse on her phone, it's just so irritating.
Something I would maybe, depending on, because maybe you're like, sure, the bedroom can be, a scroll-free zone or whatever. So we'll just sit on the couch for hours and hours in the evening, and we'll do all our scrolling there before we go to bed. And so maybe this doesn't actually solve anything. So maybe you need to set a specific time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of just saying, like, maybe it's both, right? Like maybe it's the bedroom, great. But maybe it's also, okay, by, 8:30, by 9 p.m., whatever it is, I can, turn off my phone, or I can put it in do not disturb and I don't use it anymore.
Yeah. And most phones even have that setting too, where you can choose when it's, nighttime mode or bedtime mode or stuff like that. So start taking advantage of that. And listen to it when it comes on. Don't do ignore for 30 more minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, my wife and I do that, and we have each other's passcodes for that. So we can't just turn it off. If you want it, it's like, hey babe, I need to, whatever, can you unlock it?
So that's one password you don't share?
Yeah, that's right. That's one password we don't share, especially for me, because she controls all my passcodes on my phone. So I don't have access to certain websites or certain apps or stuff for not to lead me down any tempting paths. Mm-hmm. So the bedroom is a big one, and I can right away just hear people saying, but what if there's an emergency, or what if whatever? And
get a home phone.
Yeah, there you go.
That's
go back to the dinosaur ages like Tira and get a home phone.
There you go.
Or you can't, but then I don't have my alarm, or then I don't have my time. I don't know what the time.
Alarm clock.
So what we do is my wife charges her watch in our room. Mm-hmm. So we have time there. We also have an Alexa in our bedroom. So we'll ask her the time. And for the emergency thing, we charge ours. So our kitchen is really close to our bedroom. So we charge our phones in the kitchen, and one of us will leave our phones on loud overnight. So if there is an emergency and one of our families needs to call, we'll still hear it.
There you go.
Other phone-free zones, do you guys have any?
The dinner table. We don't.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like...
Yeah.
That's probably the most common one that most people have.
Yeah.
The other one that we started doing is the bathroom when the kids are awake.
Oh, okay.
So like in the mornings, getting ready for school, if one of us goes to the bathroom and takes her phone, it's super annoying. It's like, okay, I'm doing all this stuff by myself now. I could really use your help, and you're gone for 10 minutes. Like that's not helpful.
Got it.
Mm-hmm. Or in the evenings at bedtime, one of us goes, and I'm the worst for this one. I'll grab my phone and this is my bad one. But it works because I definitely am convicted and I feel guilty every time I do it. So I'd say that, bathroom when the kids are awake has been one that's been helpful for us, because then you get to work as a team to accomplish whatever it is that needs to be done in that moment.
Yeah.
All right. So checking in versus checking out is kind of the second thing we were going to talk about here. So instead of checking your phone first thing in the morning, check in with your spouse. And if you want to be even better than that, check in with God first. So I heard a pastor say once, like, how often are you waking up and touching your phone first before you touch your Bible? Or the word first, right? Or email before the word, or
touching your phone before your feet touch the floor.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I've never heard that. That's good. I like that.
Mhm.
So it just, again, it's this distracting thing that is disconnecting us from all of the important relationships in our life. So same thing with bedtime. End the day without the phones, pray together, cuddle, have sex. Don't be just distracted doing nothing.
Yeah.
There are good things about phones, right? It's not
Mhm.
like they're these horrible things, but for us, having a shared calendar has been so helpful because I'm
Yeah.
not the most calendar organized person. So having somewhere I can go and say, oh, no, I'm not free that day because so and so's in the calendar.
Yeah.
And you've got like, you can flirt, you can send text messages, you can send gifts back and forth, you can use Intimately Us and the Just Between Us apps
Mhm.
to have secure messaging just between you and your spouse. You are probably listening to this podcast with your
Mhm.
mobile device, and that wouldn't
Yep.
be an option if you didn't have a phone. So there are good things, but I would encourage you, the listener, to just double check what is it that you're using your device for, and not just you, the listener, me as well, and the girls
Yeah.
as well, all of us.
Yep.
We're not by any means immune to any of this. We are in
No.
the same boat as you guys.
Yep.
But another thing you can do is go check your screen time. Most phones these days will track your screen time and
Mhm.
what you're doing on your phone. And if you want to be convicted about how much you're on
Oh.
your phone's not going to lie. It knows every second you spent on every app and how long it's been open. And
It's
I
very
think on
humbling.
iPhone, it tells you like how many times you opened Instagram in a day. And
Yeah.
seeing
Or
a
just picked up your
number,
phone in general.
yeah, and seeing a number with like 3 digits in it, it's like I opened Instagram 119 times today. Oh my gosh.
It would be nice if you could like have two phones, one for work, one for your productive time, and one for your non-productive time. Because then you'd see the Instagram number, you go, yeah, but half of that was responding to DMs or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
That
hard
would
to
be helpful.
break it down, but
So within that screen time, you can set limits, like we talked about earlier. You
Mhm.
can set limits on certain apps. I mean, I only use an iPhone, so I'm only going to talk iPhone here. Tira can talk Android in a minute, but
Mhm.
on iPhone, you can set time limits for apps. You can only be on Instagram, have it open for 1 hour a day, or you can only have your phone available from, like for us, we do 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Between those times, it's locked, and you need access from your spouse to get on it. So use this to your advantage, especially if this is an issue. This is a great way to
Mhm.
start. Just limit yourself to a certain time, right? And
Yeah.
then don't forget to use like do not disturb mode. So maybe once the
Mhm.
kids go down, you turn on do not disturb mode so you're not getting these unnecessary notifications that are just pure distraction, and you can actually spend time connecting with your spouse,
Including your
Yeah.
watch. So
including
you
your
turn your
watch.
notifications off on your watch too.
Yeah.
There you go.
What's Android like, Tira, for setting stuff like this?
I'm 100% sure there's something. I
Okay.
haven't gone into it. I'm gonna guess you probably have to have an app to control all of it. I haven't gone through the settings that thoroughly. Kind of curious now.
Okay.
I'm sure there is. Yeah.
I'm sure there would be something.
Yeah. Another thing we already talked about, but make sure you have all of the access to your spouse's phone, right? Everything needs to be shared with one another. If it's not, this is the first thing you need to do when this episode finishes is go to your spouse and say, hey, I think we need to be more transparent with each other and have access to each other's devices. What are your thoughts on that?
Mm-hmm.
And then if porn or other people affair, emotional affair, physical affair are coming up, I mean, obviously that's way beyond the scope of this podcast, but
Mhm.
confess to your spouse and get professional help. If you need recommendations where to go for professional help, reach out to us. We have lots of amazing counselors that we work with that would be willing to help you through whatever situation you're in.
I just looked on my Android. Yeah, you can go into each within your app settings. There's an app timer and managing your notifications, like how much come in and everything. So there's actually quite a bit, which I may take advantage of, actually.
Nice.
Sweet.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so in closing, I have kind of a little bit of a tech audit I want to give all of us, including the listeners and ourselves.
All right.
So this week, do a little bit of a tech audit with your spouse. Ask yourself, how often are we on our phones around each other? And again, go into your screen time, whatever it is on Android, go into that app and just look and see how much you're actually on your phone and what time of day it is, right? Is it once the kids are down and you're on your phone another 2 hours when it's just you and your spouse awake? Ask where technology is helping you guys and where is it hurting you. Again, there's lots of good that comes out of this, especially like the one person said when they're traveling. That's probably the biggest positive to technology these days is we can be connected when we're apart, which is great. But I would say for most of us, they're doing more damage than they are doing good.
Yeah.
And then what is one habit we can change this week to be more present with each other? So maybe that's screen time passcodes. Maybe that's screen time limits. Maybe that's just making a phone-free zone. Whatever it is, pick one thing that you guys are able to change and implement it this week and just see how it goes, right? Spend more time talking to each other. I think the sad part is when couples don't have their phones, they don't really know what to talk about, right? Yeah. So if you don't know what to talk about, one, you're not alone. Two, we have tons and tons and tons of connect questions for you guys. Yeah. Super simple conversation starters. Go to our Instagram page. In our highlights, there's a connect questions highlight, and there's dozens and dozens and dozens of connect questions for you guys to just ask each other and spend time in conversation. And if you run out of all those, then get the Intimately Us app, and they have conversation starters in their app as well.
I was going to say, and if you are wanting to go really hardcore and not use your phone to get them, or like get them and then physically write them down on a piece of paper when you go on your date.
Nice. Yep.
Like, or doesn't Beating 50% have physical cards that are connecting cards?
Yeah, they have them. I think Mentionables has some now too.
Right.
So yeah, there's tons of them out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So in summary, let's be more thoughtful about how we're using our phones. Use them to connect with your spouse, not disconnect. Use them to bring more attention to your spouse, not distract you from your spouse. And this is not something you're going to be able to change tomorrow. This is something that's going to be baby steps. It's going to be, talking about access to each other's devices and talking about limits and talking about phone-free zones and whatever it is. There's lots of different things that you guys can tackle as your first thing, but it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to be, a pretty big lifestyle change, at least in your own life and in your marriage.
Mm-hmm. And then there's also the cool like box things that you can put your phones in, and
yes.
Some of them make it a game where like who can be away from their phone more, so then it becomes gamified, and then it's more fun, and it doesn't feel like it's just
right.
this one big negative thing that you're trying, like one really bad habit that you're trying to will yourself out of.
Yeah, we have an interview coming up with the founders of Go Arrow, which is exactly what Tira's talking about. It's a box you put your phone in, and it kind of like takes your phone offline. And it's a good thing because it's one of those things where you physically have to put your phone away, so then it's not there. Whereas it's too easy to convince ourselves, oh yeah, I'll do it. I'll turn it over upside down, or I'll put it in the other room. No, if you have like a physical box, it's so much easier to just put the thing away and in the box. And then they have an app also that will track all of your stuff. It's a little bit different than the screen time apps that are like native on the phone. But we'll learn a lot more about that when we interview them. So stay tuned for that episode because it's going to be really interesting hearing the data that they have, because they have so many data points on how this is actually ruining marriages and families and how we can flip this around into more of a positive thing where we can spend more time connecting with our spouses instead. And that's actually one thing we didn't talk about is like families and kids and how much time do we give our phone attention when our kids are in the room, or when they're actually like talking to us and asking for our attention and we're just standing there on our phone. So I think this is another thing, is just setting a good example for our kids who are one of the first generations now, maybe the second generation, growing up with smartphones and screens, where we didn't really have that when we were growing up.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Any final thoughts?
I think it'll be good. I think even just starting with yourself, if you're like, I just don't know how to have this conversation with my spouse and you're feeling really unsure about it, just take some steps for yourself. Like start with you and see how you feel and what changes. And then that can maybe be the starting point of a conversation with your spouse. Like, hey, I've been trying to be more intentional with my time on my phone. And I've noticed, like I hear all the time, people are like, oh, I sleep better, right? Like you are more productive because you're not scrolling on your phone for hours on end, right? Like there's so many positives to intentionality when it comes to our phones. So start small, start now.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, I'll pray. God, thank you so much for smart people who made smartphones, and thank you for the good things that they have brought, the way that we can connect with loved ones and people across the world and reconnections and all these amazing stories that we hear of because of technology. But we're also aware of the dangers and the distraction that it has become. So right now I ask that everyone listening, including myself, would just take an audit of how much time am I spending on my phone? Where can I change? How can I be a more intentional spouse to my spouse and give them more of my undivided attention and allow more time for us to connect and to really deepen our marriage, to deepen our connection with one another, and to deepen our connection with you? So would we all humble ourselves before this task that we're about to take this week? And would we see some fruit come out of it? In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Hey friends, thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you like our content, please like, review, and subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts, and tell your friends too. Thanks so much for journeying with us today as we tackled the hard questions and dive deep into godly intimacy. Make sure you follow us on Instagram to see more of our content, and check the show notes for any links we might have mentioned in today's episode. We're so grateful to be on this journey with you, and we can't wait to see you in the next episode.